What if we didn't see the 10 commandments as do's and don'ts, but rather as imagine ifs? So take for example the first commandment, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Imagine if every human being in the world put God first. Imagine every single person living according to Matthew 6:33 and seeking first the kingdom of God. Imagine that nobody put anything before God. Imagine if every single person's life revolved around loving God before loving anything else, before loving money or recognition or careers or anything. The second commandment, imagine if we didn't reduce God to something that we could control or contain. Imagine that every person trusted that God is bigger, better, and more beautiful than anything we could ever make with our own hands. The third commandment, imagine that all of us treated God's name with such reverence and wonder that it deserves. The fourth commandment, imagine that the whole world lived in a state of rest in their hearts. Imagine that everybody stopped working on the seventh day of the week and used it as a day of physical rest to remind ourselves that Jesus is our eternal spiritual rest. Imagine the worldwide community that we would all enjoy as our day of rest revolved around connecting with God and connecting with each other. Fifth commandment, imagine that every baby boy and every baby girl had a loving mother and father who raised them together. Imagine if everyone lived with a deep respect and an admiration for those that raised them in godly wisdom. Imagine how different the world would look if this was the case. The sixth commandment, imagine if we saw every single life as sacred, being made in the very image of God himself. Imagine if no one ever turned to anger and hate and violence, but instead sought peace and pursued it. The seventh commandment, imagine if all submitted to the covenant of love in marriage and adultery did not even exist, either in thought or action. Imagine the peace that this simple change would bring to countless families that have been wrecked by adultery. The eighth commandment, imagine a world with no locks and no keys. Imagine if theft did not exist. Imagine that our possessions did not possess us, and all we had, we freely shared with one another. The ninth commandment, imagine a world where no lies were ever told, where everyone let their yes be yes or their no be no. And that was it. We would never have to question the motives of another since everyone's word was their bond. Imagine a world where only the truth was ever spoken, a world that walks in freedom because the truth sets us free. And the 10th commandment, imagine a world where we would all perfectly be content with the good things that God has given us, where we wouldn't wrongfully desire anything that didn't belong to us, whether it be our neighbor's house or car or vacation or bank account or wife or anything that belongs to our neighbor, but instead look to God to provide all of our needs, knowing that when we delight ourselves in Him, He will give us the desires of our heart.